Hey there, everybody. It's me again, part two. Don't know how much is really going to be involved in this other than just my own personal perspective on this part. Sorry about the latest abrupt halt. As you know, I have a Brontosaurus for an Android phone. It causes me trouble, and I had to reset it again. How many times this week? I don't even want to find out. I don't want to count. At any rate, as I was stating previously, we have a super volcano under China Lake in California. The reservoirs in Oregon are being drained, not completely drained, but they are averaging at this point, just about all of them, anywhere from 1 to 3 feet less water than they had a week ago. And then, of course, we have the threat of a space war with China, as if we need that. That we need any kind of war at all with anybody. We don't. We really just don't need that. At any rate, as I have said before, a lot of things we just don't have any control over. The thing we need to do is be in the Word and be in prayer. You know, everything that we take for granted on a daily basis, food, easy access to food, water, adequate or even beyond adequate shelter, home, all these things, clothes on our backs, we take these things for granted every day, and people, a lot of us just don't realize that just the basics, the necessities of life, as far as living in a city is concerned, could be here today and gone tomorrow, folks, literally. Could be here this minute and gone 5 minutes from now. You just never know. You got the threat of NEMP, cyber attack on the grid. We've got the threat of Ebola. There's so many things that, and those things could come crashing down on us at any minute. As far as the food shortage is concerned, it looks like I'm hoping that I'm accurate on this. Maybe we got it until January. Maybe. We're probably going to be seeing some degree of evidence of that. Maybe a lot of evidence of that. It's hard to say. I'm not 100% sure exactly how to connect all the dots with reference to the dream that I had, but I'm hoping, let's put it that way, that those 5 turkeys might have represented at least 5 months. I'm going according to where that's concerned, the dream that Joseph had, or actually, I take it back, it wasn't Joseph that had that dream. Joseph was the one who interpreted the dream for Pharaoh. The Pharaoh saw 7 fat, healthy cows. Then after that, he saw 7 sickly and very thin cows. Of course, the 7 fat and healthy cows represented 7 years of plenty, and the 7 thin and sickly cows represented 7 years of famine. Of course, I did not see in my dream 5 sickly-looking turkeys. I just saw the 5 plump and very beautifully plumed turkeys. So I don't think that necessarily means that it's going to be a 5 year. It's hard to say. It could be 5 months, could be 5 years. We could have something happen that we don't expect that's going to be turning all this around. God could turn it around somehow. I don't know. But that's where the 5 months is coming from on my end. I'm going according to the dream that Joseph had interpreted for Pharaoh. But at any rate, the time of plenty or bounty, it's not going to last forever. If it lasts 5 months, it's not going to last forever. We do have, with all the soil that's gone unplanted, and then what did get planted got flooded. Well, we can't expect to not see some hardship involved for us from all that. I just don't think it's wise or realistic to expect that we can't see that. We won't see that. I think we will. There's just a lot going on, and there's a lot to be in prayer about. Not only what could potentially affect us in the mundane, but there's a lot with all of us, no doubt, to be in prayer about with reference to what can affect us spiritually. We've got to stay in the Word and memorize it. Not just mentally, but memorize it in here in our heart, in our spirit. Wear it on the sleeve of our heart is what the Word tells us to do. And that's what it means, is to know it well, so that even in a situation at some point where we don't have access to it in print, it's here, and it's here to draw strength and encouragement from. Christ himself told us, if God feeds the birds and clothes the lilies, how much more will he do for us? He made it very clear, we should not worry for what we're going to eat, what we'll drink, what we'll wear, where we'll live, what have you. It's going to, somehow, some way, it's all going to be taken care of. Somehow, some way, it's going to be provided. We don't know how. We can't see the future, but God knows how. God can see. God knows what's going to happen in the future already, because he holds the future in his hands, just as he does the past and the present. That's what we have to do, folks. We've got to put our trust and our faith entirely in him. We can't put it in politicians. I'm sorry. Those of you who still think that you can, you're wrong. I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You can't put it in FEMA. You can't put it in anything governmental. Governments fail. They fall. They collapse. Economies fail, fall, and collapse. Nations fail, fall, and collapse. These things are just facts. History repeats itself repeatedly, over and over again. These things have always happened in the past, throughout time, and they're going to continue to happen. One day China will fall, and anybody that comes in to take over from them is going to fall. Nations rise to their peak, and then they begin to fall, and then they collapse. That's just the way things go. At any rate, prep. Don't freak out. Don't get yourself worked up. Don't get scared. Put your trust and faith in God. Everything, him, Holy Mother Spirit, save Christ our Savior. Just put our trust and faith in them. It's all going to work out. Somehow, some way or other, it will. They've never failed us yet, and they're not going to start now. It was David who said, I was young and now I'm old, yet never have I seen the righteous forsaken nor his seed begging bread. We got to bank on that. We got to count on that. We have to trust in that. And Christ himself told us we don't have to worry about that. Somehow, some way, whatever we're not able to prep for, somehow, some way, it will be there for us, somehow. At any rate, do the best you can to prep as best you can for yourself and your family. Water, non-perishable food, body and oral hygiene supplies, these are just the basics. You have to prep according to your own individual need. Prep for your animals, additional food, flea and tick protection if possible. First aid, Ebola prevention, it should be included in that. Hand soap, sanitizer. And then, of course, some really good stealth weapons would be a very good idea. Guns, if you have them, get ammo. You might need them. But I think for the most part, At this point, really, stealth weapons are going to be the best to use because they're not going to make any noise. They're not going to alert people far away of where you are, what direction you're in, where you might be. And if at all possible, if you have to create a fire for anything, cooking, bathing, what have you, I would suggest doing that at nighttime. Not everybody's going to be able to bug out yet, believe me, I know. I don't really feel like I'm able to just yet. I may very well wind up doing what a lot of people do and wait until such a time as something happens, there's no communication for whatever the reason, and the only way to communicate with anybody is by shortwave radio that you just have to crank up by hand rather than having to have electricity for it. I've got one of those. I would suggest everybody get one if you can manage it. That's, and communication and knowing what's going on elsewhere is going to be vital in a situation where there may not be any other means of communication. You don't want to be feeling like you're all alone. None of us will be. We have the Holy Three. But you know how it can wind up feeling at times. Like, we're just all alone in the world and don't know what's going on. We need to know what's going on with other people around us. In the meantime, be in the Word, be in prayer, be with Holy Father, Holy Mother, and Savior. And just do everything that you can the best way you can. Love people. Believe me, I know some of them make it difficult. There's someone that I have to work with that often does that. But we have to keep trying. Be in prayer. God will provide. He will give us the answers that we need. Till next time, Roed the Red, signing out. Love you.